An early morning explosion and fire in Scott County destroys the home of a man currently in jail for making meth. Detectives across the country are re-examining cold cases after a possible serial killer went after a West Virginia woman. You're going to hear from that woman coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon to you. Amber Philpott and Sam Dick reporting a Central Kentucky home burned to the ground overnight, and now investigators are trying to figure out what started the flames.
It was just after 1 this morning when firefighters in Scott County were called to the home on Indian Creek Road in Sadieville. Neighbors reported hearing an explosion. As WKYT's Hillary Thornton reports, the man who owns this home wasn't there because he's in jail. It's our top story at 4:30.
Neighbors say the owner of this now burned down home here behind me is 54-year-old William Dillon, a man currently in jail, pleading guilty this month to facilitating organized crime as well as making meth. Neighbors here on Indian Creek Road say they heard an explosion last night that then caused the home to burn to the ground.
That's what it's known as around here. Everybody knows it is the meth lab house.
Around 1 o'clock this morning, firefighters were called to Dillon's home after neighbors heard that explosion. When fire crews got to the scene, they say the home had already burned down to the ground. Back on July 6, Dillon admitted guilt in helping an organized crime conspiracy to make and distribute meth. His plea agreement gets him out of testifying against his co-defendants. In exchange, prosecutors are recommending a 10-year sentence on the meth charge and 5 years on that facilitation charge. The plea agreement also calls for Dillon to forfeit his Indian Creek Road property, which is the home that burned down this morning. Neighbors say since Dillon's arrest, no one was supposed to be living there. However, the home was still a source of concern.
They show up, and I've actually called the law on several of the people that showed up around there. They've been playing loud music and shooting off guns, and I have small children here and don't want them down around here.
And Dillon is scheduled to be back in court for his sentencing next week. In Scott County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
The Scott County Fire Department says the fire is still under investigation, and they have now turned the case over to state police. It's designed to help people suffering from drug-related issues.
The Hope Over Heroin events have attracted massive crowds in other states. Next month, it's coming to Danville. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to organizers who are planning for what they're calling a life-changing festival in Danville.
Danville's Millennium Park has been chosen as the location for the event August 21st and 22nd. It's called Hope Over Heroin, and it's being billed as an event where people can come and get hope and help over their drug addictions.
I am washed by the water.
In other states, the Hope Over Heroin event has drawn as many as 9,000 people. Organizers of the Kentucky event are expecting at least 2,000 for the event, with one simple purpose.
Some immediate help available for those who come, don't know what to do, don't know where to go.
The two-day event will have a festival-like atmosphere, complete with food and a rock and roll concert. But Montgomery says the purpose goes much deeper, to bring awareness to heroin abuse and addiction.
Instead of your traditional preacher or a message, it's going to be recovered addicts giving their testimonials about how their lives have been changed through this event and how their lives have just been changed through other avenues. So it's going to be a powerful two-day event.
Events like this are quite large, and they're also quite expensive. Therefore, several fund drives and fundraisers have been set. One will be this Thursday night, 6:30, at the Junction City Baptist Church, where a spaghetti dinner will take place. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
At least 25 churches in Boyle and surrounding counties are working to put on the Hope Over Heroin event. It is scheduled for Friday, August 21st and Saturday, August 22nd. A Kentucky jail closed for a bed bug infestation will open tomorrow. Last week, we told you that city officials decided to close the Estill County Jail because of bed bugs. An exterminator inspected the jail and the courthouse today. The jail will open at 8 tomorrow morning.
Many veterans are struggling with post-traumatic stress syndrome, or PTSD, and not getting the help they need. In a story we're working on for WKYT News at 6, a Lexington couple knows the pain of losing a young man who served his country as a Marine, then came home and eventually ended his life. Michael Meade was a helicopter crew chief, logging hundreds of combat flight hours in Iraq and Afghanistan. When he came back to the States, he eventually came to UK and earned his master's degree. His father remembers Michael filled all his time with school and work. His father never saw the end coming.
I have never been so rocked in all my life. I've lived through a lot of things. My world came to a stop. It just crashed down around me.
Michael's death pushed his father to take action, and tonight, how he's starting a peer-to-peer support group in Lexington. It is strictly for combat veterans, helping combat veterans move forward with life.
So emotional for this family. I know it seems like a really simple question, but why don't more veterans get the help that they need that sometimes could save their lives?
Does seem simple, doesn't it? These veterans, when they leave the service, Amber, are given resource information and numbers and so forth, but they're not looking back. A lot of them don't want to be thinking about what they've been through. They want to move forward with their life, and they may not anticipate the problems that are about to happen. And things may happen down the line that they don't understand. Maybe that's a part of what I went through. Some veterans also don't trust the government. They don't trust medical facilities. Quite frankly, some of them don't trust the VA, so there's a roadblock there. But what the Meads are talking about is combat veterans helping combat veterans. So it's an untraditional support. It is being done in many places around the country, but this is somewhat of a new program that they're starting here in Kentucky.
And we hope it helps so many. So we're going to learn more tonight about it at 6, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Sam, thank you.
Well, police say a woman in Charleston, West Virginia, who shot her alleged attacker may have killed a serial killer.
It is believed 45-year-old Neil Falls could be connected to a string of murders that police are investigating in Ohio, Illinois, and Nevada. Police say last week his latest victim fought back when he began strangling her in her home. Mark Albert has more on her escape and the investigation.
He was going to shoot me. He was going to kill me.
Heather, who doesn't want to give her last name, says minutes after she opened the door to her Charleston, West Virginia home, Neil Falls began choking her. He held a gun in one hand and held her by the throat with the other. Heather quickly grabbed a rake in self-defense.
He put the gun down to get the rake out of my hand, and I just grabbed it and shot behind me.
That one shot hit Falls in the head, killing him. Heather ran out of the house and flagged down a neighbor who called 911.
She had to defend herself and she shot him. She's in the kitchen. He pulled a gun on her. She's got cuts and stuff all over.
When investigators responded, they found a cache of weapons inside Falls's SUV, including knives, a machete, axes, a sledgehammer, shovel, plastic trash bags, bleach, and a bulletproof vest. They also found 4 sets of handcuffs in his pockets.
What comes to mind when you look at those items is that this is a serial killer kit.
Lieutenant Steve Cooper was a detective on scene with the Charleston police. Cooper says the items, Falls' methods, and his previous known locations may tie him to the murder or disappearance of 9 women in 3 states. Falls used to live in Las Vegas for 8 years and worked at Hoover Dam. During that time, 4 women disappeared. 3 were later found dismembered. All of the women, authorities say, were escorts. Most, like Heather, advertised online.
I believe that Heather saved lives, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some closure to some other families too. If she hadn't fought back, she would most certainly be dead.
Police in West Virginia have asked the FBI for help and are entering Falls' name into a national DNA database to check for links to other crimes. Falls was found with a list of names, ages, and phone numbers of 10 other women that are still alive. We are in for a hot and steamy weather week for us here in the Bluegrass.
Sounds like July in Kentucky. Chris Bailey's here, our chief meteorologist, talk about the possibility of some showers and, Chris, maybe some storms?
Yeah, storms right now taking more center stage than anything else. It's a typical brand of heat out there, guys. Actually, we're a little below normal in a lot of cases. Again, this afternoon, let's jump into it and show you what we are dealing with into central and eastern Kentucky. A lot of middle 80s out there. There's nothing hot about middle 80s in the month of July, and that's what we're being dealt again today. Overall, very nice conditions. Here's a look at Defender, and we are tracking some scattered thunderstorms that are showing up from Campbellsville down into parts of Adair County toward the Lake Cumberland area. A little farther to the east now, some thunder and lightning being noted here from Boonville into Owsley County, southward into parts of Clay County. Some of that stuff extends a little farther to the north now. You get into the Mount Sterling area, down toward Frenchburg and Campton, some thunder and lightning and some locally heavy downpours. Most of the Bluegrass region, though, after starting out the day with some booming showers and storms. Not seeing a whole heck of a lot out there. Humidity levels are steaming it up a little bit. As we look toward the northwestern sky, though, we'll track some additional clusters of thunderstorms into central and eastern Kentucky when I come back in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Well, you can have your say about the future of two statues in downtown Lexington. Mayor Jim Gray asking the Urban County Arch Review Board to review the statues of Civil War officers John Hunt Morgan and John C. Breckinridge. They have stood near the Main Street Courthouse for more than a century. That public meeting is August 24th in the council chambers.
Talon Farm and Winery is getting ready for a fabulous summer concert series benefiting the McKenna Foundation.
Our Deanne Stevens is out and about with how you can be a part of that. Hey, Deanne.
Good afternoon, guys. We are here at Talon Farm and Winery, where they are preparing for a fabulous summer evening of concerts happening this weekend, Saturday, 5 to 9 o'clock. Check out all these fabulous silent auction items. We're going to tell you about that in just a minute. But first, Miss Paige is with us. Paige, Talon, gorgeous setting for a summer concert series. You guys are having a great event this weekend for the hospital.
Exactly. It's a great event, 5 to 9, like you said. Tickets are $10. Kids under 10 are free, so there's no excuse not to come out. The money goes to a great proceed. Enjoy some wine, get some food from Columbia Steakhouse, and enjoy some great music and weather.
There is going to be a wine tasting, too, in case you decide to take part in that happening. Dr. Craig Carter with the UK Children's Hospital is with us. The McKenna Foundation, Dr. Carter, has done so much for the hospital there. Talk a bit about that and how folks can just come out and spend $10 and really make a difference for those at the hospital.
It is. It's a huge organization. Started with a grassroots foundation by Sheila and Greg David. They have raised over the last 10 years over $1 million, which they've donated to create only the second pediatric ER in the state, the McKenna David Pediatric ER. And the rest of the proceeds continue to filter right into Kentucky Children's Hospital as their own recipient of their funds. They do an amazing job, and it's for the children, covers everyone who comes through the ER or the Children's Hospital.
All right, so come on out. For $10, you can come enjoy an evening here at Talon. Hanal, quickly, tell folks about some of the awesome items you guys have for your silent auction.
Yeah, so we've got kind of something for everyone. For the little kids, we've got lots of toys, we have a huge Frozen basket. We've got bikes we've got youth boy bike and a little girl bike. But then for the adults, we've got some bourbon baskets, we've got a grilling basket, we've got a ton of UK signed stuff. And you know, we have furniture, we really have something for everyone, for every age and every interest.
I love silent auctions because you can normally get a pretty good deal. The best part is you're helping the UK Children's Hospital. Do not forget $10 right here. That's all the ticket price. 12 and under? Is it 12 and under or 10 and under? It's 12 and under now. 12 and under kids are free. Come on out to Talon Winery 5 to 9 o'clock. Enjoy the music and the fun, all for the McKenna Foundation. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Deanne. Authorities say an autopsy will be needed to determine what led to the death of Bobby Christina Brown.
The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office in Georgia says because of the time elapsed from when she was found in her bathtub back in January until her death Sunday will complicate efforts. Brown was 22 years old.
I saw some pop-up showers this morning where just for 5 or 10 minutes, pretty intense, and then gone.
And then it was steamy, Chris Bailey, just like that, right?
Oh, exactly right. You know, that's been really the story outside of the heavy rains, guys. The amount of humidity in there. This has not been a hot summer by any stretch of the imagination, but the humidity is just off the charts again. It's like living in the tropics. A little look outside down the Mountain Parkway. Things are looking good, though a couple of scattered thunderstorms not too far away from this particular camera shot. 79 Corbin, where we've had some nearby showers and storms. Most areas, though, with a lot of mid-80s as of right now. And again, that's exactly normal, mid and upper 80s for this time of year. Defender is tracking some of those scattered showers and storms that are out there. They're very slow movers. You get under one, it's going to rain about as hard as it can rain for just a few minutes, and then it'll kind of gradually move on its merry way. We're getting in on some of this action showing up north of Columbia toward the Campbellsville area, and the stronger cells are just to the east of that into parts of Clay County down into Knox County. That extends a little farther to the north as well. More in the way of steam and some storms before a big cool down comes our way later this week. We'll track it all a little later on.
I-75 north in Madison County, the vehicle fire that has one lane of the interstate shut down, and it's a mess. 75 north right now. approaching the 94-mile marker. Inbound Richmond at Manowar, there's also a non-injury collision. The right lane is blocked there. Not much of a back on Richmond Road. The big problem's in Madison County. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. A lion still on the loose and why it was raining money in South Carolina. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
First to Wisconsin, where police continue to search after new reports of a lion sighting. Milwaukee police say the big cat may have gone outside of its containment perimeter. The first reports of a lion sighting surfaced a week ago when what appeared to be a large cat was caught on video.
They know it's a cat-like animal. It could be a young African lion, or it could be a mature mountain lion / cougar species.
Looked it like Nala from Lion King. So I'm thinking it's female. You know, I'm not a lion expert, but I'm thinking that it's female, and she's pretty tall.
Milwaukee police have investigated dozens of reported sightings in the last week.
Drivers in South Carolina say it was raining money this morning. Drivers reported an armored truck spilling money onto a Greenville interstate. It happened after the back door of the truck flew open. The driver said people stopped on the roadway trying to pick up the cash. Another driver said it was like a scene from a movie. Greenville County Sheriff's deputies helped collect all that money. It's not clear how much actually blew out. Authorities, though, are asking people not to stop and look for money on the interstate. That's probably a pretty good idea.
But tempting when you see money flying.
Absolutely.
Okay, do I run over it or do I pull over? But you're right. Don't stop.
Yeah.